Welcome to season three's finale of Bringing Dreams and Miracle Together podcast. I'm your host, Cara Maple, Chief Business Officer of Family Source Consultants. And today we're wrapping up a very, I got to start over. I've mixed my words. See, this is why I should prepare.
I mean, you went right into it. I'm like, here we go.
I know, and I was
Easy
so good,
one.
and then I looked down, I was like, wait a minute, I saw your name, and I was like, with
And
a
I'm
very
trying not
special
to,
season. I
I
know,
try not
laugh
to,
at me.
yeah.
Like, it's okay, you can giggle and be like, look at you, put your podcast face on. So,
No, it's okay. I have to
but
do, I have to do this all the time. So I just kind of, if you just
you're
kind of
so
like,
good at it though. Like I haven't done it in a minute,
oh,
so but
uh,
okay. All right. Welcome to the season three finale of Bringing Dreams and Miracles Together podcast. I'm your host, Cara Maple, Chief Business Officer here at Family Source Consultants. And we're wrapping up this powerful season with a very special guest. She really needs no introduction. Her name is Staci Swiderski, founder and CEO at Family Source. She's really the voice behind every introduction. She's kicked off this season, and I'm blessed to have her join us today to close the season. So welcome, Staci.
well, thank you so much. This is going to be fun.
It's going to be fun. We've had a really long season. It's been wonderful to have so many guests on from both internal and external. So, my first question with you is looking back over season three, what moments or guest conversations really seem the most meaningful to you in your view as our founder and CEO?
Oh, that's a great question. And there were so many. I feel that every one of our episodes really brought so much value to our listeners. Um, but and I can't even give you one or two, but I can probably, I can definitely round it up and pinpoint the realness behind each one and the importance. So I give so much credit and appreciation to our amazing legal partners that joined us. Marla Neufeld and Andy Vorsmore and a few others, Rolf Song. They've just been amazing support and to really educate the our audience and the intended parents, surrogates, donors, and um, really third of all things third party. And I think they've been a really wonderful, powerful resource for us. I would also throw in there for sure the support, my goodness, around mental health. So we had Kate from All Pass. Has been amazing. She was amazing, an amazing guest. Joey Guzman has just been, he's always supportive of, everything that we do and all things family building. Of course, the fertility specialists who share their insight and their expertise on how do we even do what we do and how do we how do we create embryos and third party transferring those embryos into a surrogate or using an egg donor. I think all of those are so important. um, but I love to put a shining you know light onto our actual surrogates and donors and intended parents, because personally speaking, I mean, we're going years back when I started my journey through surrogacy. We didn't have all of this, all these opportunities at our fingertips. We didn't have, the Facebook groups. We didn't have webinars. We didn't have podcasts. We went back old school to surrogate mothers online, things like that, to where there are actual blogs where it really fueled me to give me hope that I can build my family through surrogacy. And that was literally listening to others or reading others' insights in their blogs that they accomplished that. And those were from real, surrogates and intended parents. And so I think without those real stories from the people who've personally experienced it, I don't know if I would have ever forged ahead and built my family through surrogacy. So, all of our wonderful guests, brought so much value. But I think it hits home really deeply when you hear those personal stories.
I would agree. And when I thought of the question, I thought, how are we going to narrow this down to just one or
Oh,
two? And I
yeah.
mean, you really said it perfectly. All of our legal partners, all of our fertility partners, all of our just family building partners in general with our mental health professionals and our external support like All Paths, those are so special. But in addition to that, even our team spoke up and shared their
Well,
stories and their expertise because we have so much as well.
I just listened to our last one. I believe it was our last one or second last one. And it was with our match specialist team. And I was just in awe of listening to them. I mean, they bring such natural compassion to what they do every single day. And to me, it just, it was like a proud mom moment. I was so proud to listen to them and just the compassion and the expertise that they bring, to our listeners. Um, it's just it's pretty amazing. And I'm so grateful that we have the technology that we do and we can
Yes.
record these podcasts and these webinars and all the blogs that we put out and just really educate our listeners or our clients or surrogates and anybody who wants to learn more about Family Source. We have so much education out there for them.
I love that. And I love this path. And I want to just agree with you also in I think the more intimate stories, the personal stories from our egg donors, from our surrogates, our intended parents, those really connect with other hopeful parents, with other potential surrogates and other donors. Really just you're not alone and you kind of hear those same stories. So I love that we have the informational, the educational, but we also have those personal touches. And I think that's really what made season 3 so wonderful. So with that, how have you seen Family Sources maybe mission towards education, advocacy, community building, really just getting knowledge out there evolve over the season?
You know, I think it's just it really came down to so many others that are willing to be heard. The professionals out there, the intended parents, the surrogates, the donors, as third party reproduction has really just been over the last, I would say probably even 5 years, it's just people are more open to discussing it and sharing their personal insights and what they've gone through and just to debunk any kind of myths that are out there. I think it's so important that we have so many willing people to help educate our listeners. And I don't think we've ever come into an issue where we couldn't find a guest. Everybody is just screaming out there like, let's educate the world on how
Yes,
beautiful and amazing and wonderful family building can be through surrogacy and or egg donation. So that's just something
I
again
love
I'm really
that.
proud of. Yeah.
Well, something you said, we help debunk myths. I'm going to skip ahead a question because you kind of got, yeah, it's like you knew my script, Stacy. Here we
I'm
go.
reading your mind. I
So
think that's
I
what we
love
do all
it.
the
This
time
is great.
anyways.
So, what surrogacy or egg donation myths did we debunk this season, and why is that so critical in this environment to do that?
Great question. I think there's quite a few actually. I mean, we can discuss from the financial availability, right? Where I think this goes way back, and I think it's still true to this day where a lot of hopeful parents feel that they just can't afford it, right? That this is just for celebrities out there. Again, another reason to educate folks that there are so many different possibilities to find funding to afford the process. There's grants that I know we've partnered with so many wonderful opportunities to help hopeful parents build their families. I also think it's important too to discuss the birthright citizenship for international attendant parents. I think this was a topic that I think was important that we wanted to discuss anyways. To really go over that too, we had so many wonderful legal partners, this is why we had multiples as well. Legal partners talk about this on our episodes to really ease up the concerns for international attendant parents that yes, it is perfectly fine to build your family through surrogacy here in the States for our international attendant parents. I know
I
that was a mouthful, and
No, that's actually perfect because you answered the question I skipped as well as the question I asked you. So
oh,
it
well,
really
there we
works
go.
out perfectly. So, I think it's really important, like you said, education, allowing our clients to make informed decisions based on the information we share, the experience that we have, the professional knowledge we have, but also bringing in the experts in their fields, our legal partners, our fertility partners, and things like that. So being able
Absolutely.
to make sure they understand surrogacy is not inaccessible, egg donation is not inaccessible. We have partnered with lots of grants, Worth the Wait Charity, which is a very personal shared
They're
mission from
amazing. Yep.
yours, given that, you started this based on your own, precancerous situation years ago. I think that is really one of my favorite things I think about podcasts is bringing in all of those aspects. Then you answer the question about What topic specifically resonated most deeply with our audience? And it really was the birthright citizenship when I
I
look
think that's
back.
been, yeah, I think that's really been a really serious issue for, these so many international attendant parents where they're just, they're scared and
It's the unknown of the
it's the
political climate
unknown.
here. So
It's
being able to
so
bring on multiple people, like you said, really just they hear it from different avenues and they're going to hear the same thing. And that I think was a real highlight of the season, being able to just allow them to take a breath and say, that's all right, we're going to sign up because we trust in you and your legal partners.
absolutely. And, and going back to the support,
Mhm.
the mental health providers that we've had on our webinars and just who we're in communication with all the time. I like to, I definitely want to bring up the support for recipient parents because, with going back to, gosh, when we started the agency 18 and a half years ago, the closed donation at the time, we called it anonymous, right? And
Mhm.
then over the years, we switched over to being closed. And mainly because of all of these home kits now, right? Where
Mhm.
somebody can take a DNA test and it just matches you right to your
Yes.
your
Yes.
genetics. And I think that support that recipients have been given and what they need to, how do they share this with their children, that they've used an egg donor, and when is the right time to do that? And I've seen that really become more and more a topic, and I think that is so needed. I think because I feel like
Yes.
that really turned really quickly, right? All of a
Yes.
sudden, this all of these home genetic testing that individuals just started taking, and I think that's amazing, right?
Mhm.
But let's support the recipients in terms of when and how and should they share, this
Yes.
with their children, born through an egg donor. And I think that's been tremendous, and the support that's offered it's just really everywhere, and um, I'm really proud
Well,
of that as well.
I I love that. That kind of leads me to my next question, which is really great. So, looking ahead, what are your hopes and goals for season four? And what would you like to? What episodes are you looking forward to us recording and setting up for our listeners?
Season 4, I think season 3 was so amazing. Even duplicating season 3, I think is just, you can't go wrong. But I would like to definitely insert more personal stories.
Okay.
That's something I'm really looking forward to, whether that be from, intended parents, new parents, or surrogates or, donors themselves, recipients. Definitely inserting more personal stories, I think always resonate beautifully with the audience. And again, gives so much hope because if I didn't have that when I started my journey over 20 years ago, I don't know if I would have, right? So
Yeah.
seeing that those journeys come to fruition, I don't know how many times I said to myself, again, 20 years ago, like, oh my gosh, this really is possible. I can do this. I can do it. And thankfully I did. Our son is now 20. So
Yeah.
I'm sure he's happy too that
I
we
bet he
have
is.
personal stories. But so that's something I definitely would love to sprinkle in more of our episodes on those personal stories for
I
sure.
love that. And I think it's so important to have that variety. While it's great to hear it from the professionals, I agree that sometimes when you hear a story from someone going through what or having gone through successfully what you are about to go through, it connects different than maybe the professional saying the exact same thing. So I love that.
Well, and
Okay,
I think too, sorry to butt in
no,
there, but
you go ahead.
I think as well as a listener, whether, if it's an intended parent speaking, and let's say maybe somebody's thinking of becoming a surrogate even. So the flip side of that, it hopefully will give them, peace of mind and a little push to say, you know what, this is why I want to be a surrogate, and to understand from an intended parent's point of view. And then
Yes.
flip of that, an intended parent listening to a surrogates episode and realizing that, wow, like what the surrogates are doing to
Hmm.
fulfill this dream of mine, this is just amazing. So really seeing it from somebody else's perspective, I think is really, really helpful. Same with, egg donation. And there's just, it's a teamwork effort. And so for everybody that's involved to really understand the different parties' responsibilities. And compassion for one another, I think is really tremendous. So again, the educational piece on, for the episodes that we bring, I feel is just tremendous. And keep in mind too, so many of the professionals and the experts also have built their family through third-party
Hmm.
production. I
Yes.
know, Marla Neufeld has, and Joey has,
Hmm.
Guzman. So there's really, I think you sprinkle in every episode, any listener is going to get something out of it. And that is my
Yes.
goal too. As long as you get something out of it that is helpful, that is what we're doing. That's the purpose behind our podcasts.
I love that. So, what's one key message you want listeners to walk away with from this season?
Oh gosh, one key is, and I will say this from the beginning of time, is don't give up. That is always going to be my number one key message. Never give up. Don't give up hope. And that goes for everybody, whether you're an intended parent listening, or a surrogate who's had, maybe you had a failed transfer and you feel a sense of, oh my goodness, what could I have done differently? Just 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 keep that positivity, keep that momentum going. But just don't ever give up.
I
And
love
that's
that.
always
So,
my
when I thought of the question, I thought you'd either say that or you are not alone. I wasn't sure which one you were going to do. So I had you are not alone because you have us. We, once you're with us, we hold your hand, we support you every step of the way. We
Oh,
have, like I
always. That's
said,
a given.
all of our family
Absolutely.
building part. So I was like, is she going to go this route or is she going to go you're not alone? So I like
Yeah, yeah.
that.
No, 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 no.
I
That
I
is
had it flip,
something.
but don't give
It
up.
is.
Love that.
It is embedded in Family Source's mission from day one that, if you go off track a little bit, whatever that may be,
Hmm.
it is always our mission and our responsibility to get you right back on track and to fulfill the desires to build your family or to complete a surrogacy journey or an egg donation journey. So that's a given. You're never alone, whether, and that's something, again, I'm so proud of our team, um, because it's like a unity right here at Family Source Consultants. We have not only so much of the personal experience, but professionally wise, we just know that our compassion kicks in and we all get together and we ensure that anybody who is affiliated with Family Source Consultants will always have that support and dedication.
I love that. And you're right, it is a given. So that's probably why you went with the don't give up part. But, I like that we looped that in there. So it's been an incredible season of bringing dreams and miracles together. We shared meaningful stories, expert insights, some of those heartfelt, really deep conversations. We tackled some of the very difficult political situations that, are unknowns that, and just really all in the support of the amazing family building opportunities we have to be able to gift out to the world. So, Staci, for me, a special thank you, always opening and closing our seasons, as well as introducing every single episode. It really, in my opinion, reflects on your dedication of sharing knowledge and supporting every journey, but really just making sure everyone's armed with both information as well as the personal touch that can connect with them. So, with that, I'd like to leave the final words to you, closing out season three. And what would you like to add to really just put us into the end of this episode?
I think, first and foremost, I want to thank all of our guests for joining and really providing our listeners with so much education. And I look forward to hopefully having them back on for our next season. And then, like I said, adding more personal stories to it. But yeah, it's just really an immense amount of gratitude that I have for our team that is just, it's really what allows all this to happen. And I devote everything to our team. That's, they're amazing people, and the passion and that they have behind every email, every phone call. When we see losses, they feel it, right? When we have celebrations, they celebrate. And, this is a role and a career that doesn't end at 5 p.m.
Mhm.
We all feel it in our hearts, and I think it's important that they also they they are well aware of how appreciated they are. So it makes all of this possible. So
I love that. Thank you. That's a great closing. And for all of our listeners, we'll have a short break as we prep for season 4, and we cannot wait to launch it with all new guests, more personal stories, and
gosh,
just
we have personal
everything
stories, a
that
great
you have been
lineup.
wanting. So yes, looking forward to it. So thank you again, Staci.
Of course. Thank you.
Okay, see, that was good. Not